They say the truth will set you free, but sometimes it just pisses you off. I'm standing in my driveway at 7 in the morning, hosing down Tara's specially modified Honda, the one with hand controls that cost me 3 months overtime pay, when I accidentally spray her phone sitting on the dashboard. She's inside getting ready for physical therapy, probably taking her sweet time like always, so I grab the phone to dry it off. That's when I see the text notification.
Can't wait to feel you again tonight. Will's working late, right?
R. My name is Will Bright, and I'm about to have the worst day of my life. Or maybe the best, depending on how you look at it. I've been married to Tara for 8 years, been her full-time caretaker for the last 3, since the accident left her partially paralyzed from the waist down. I'm an electrician, 39 years old, and apparently a complete fool. The phone in my hands is unlocked. She never bothers with passwords because, hey, who's going to snoop through a disabled woman's phone? Certainly not her devoted husband. The messages go back months. Rick Donnelly. My former best friend, the guy who used to come over for barbecues and football games, who helped me install the wheelchair ramp on our front porch. The same Rick who owns the gym where Tara does her physical therapy 3 times a week. I scroll through their conversations, and each message is like a punch to the gut. The explicit photos, the detailed descriptions of what they do in his office after hours. But the worst part isn't the cheating. It's the group chat she has with her friends Gina and April. St. Will is at it again, Tara had written last Tuesday. Made me breakfast in bed like I'm some kind of invalid princess. If he only knew what I did on his precious workbench yesterday. Poor guy, April replied. Does he actually think you still love him? He's useful, Tara responded. Free healthcare, disability checks, and he does everything around the house. Plus, Rick says watching him be so devoted is hilarious. Makes it even better. Gina chimed in. You're terrible. I love it. Does he even know you can walk short distances now? Hell no. Let him keep thinking I'm helpless. Works in my favor. I'm still standing there, water running from the hose onto my work boots, when Tara wheels herself onto the porch. She's wearing the new outfit I bought her last week, a blue dress that brings out her eyes. The same eyes that are looking at me with fake concern. Will? You okay, honey? You look pale. I hold up her phone. Your phone got wet. I was drying it off. She wheels over quickly, too quickly for someone who claims her upper body strength is limited. Thanks, babe. You're always taking care of me. The performance is flawless. The grateful smile, the helpless tone. If I hadn't just read those messages, I'd probably feel proud of myself for being such a good husband. Tara, I say carefully, do you remember Rick Donnelly? She doesn't even blink. Of course, from your work crew, right? Nice guy. Why? Rick never worked with me. He's always owned that gym. But she's testing me, seeing if I know anything. Just wondering. I thought I might stop by his gym sometime, maybe start working out again. That's a great idea, honey. You've been so stressed lately with work and taking care of me. Some exercise might help. I nod and smile, playing along. Yeah, maybe it would. She wheels back inside, and I finish washing the car. My hands are shaking, but not from anger, from something colder, more focused. I've spent 3 years of my life sacrificing everything for this woman. I turned down a promotion that would have required travel because I couldn't leave her alone. I stopped hanging out with friends because she said she felt abandoned. I even sold my motorcycle, my pride and joy, to pay for her medical equipment. And she's been laughing about it with her boyfriend and friends. I go inside and make her lunch like I do every day. Turkey sandwich cut into triangles because it's easier for her to handle, apple slices, and a juice box because she says the bottles are too hard to open. I've been doing this for 3 years, and apparently she's been perfectly capable of opening bottles the whole time. You're so good to me, Will, she says when I bring her the tray. I don't know what I'd do without you. I love you, Tara. I'd do anything for you. She reaches up and touches my face. I know you would. That's what makes you special. After she leaves for therapy, Rick's gym, I sit in my living room and really look around for the first time in months. House is immaculate because I clean it every day. The furniture is arranged for wheelchair accessibility. The bathroom has grab bars and a special shower seat. The kitchen has lowered counters I installed myself. Everything in this house revolves around Tara's needs, Tara's comfort, Tara's life. I walk to her dresser and start looking through her things. In the bottom drawer, hidden under some old sweaters, I find a small metal box. Inside, $2,000 in cash, a spare key to Rick's apartment, and a handwritten note in her writing. Freedom Fund. R says we can get a place together by Christmas. Just need to figure out how to handle W. Handle me. Like I'm a problem to be solved. My phone rings. It's Frank, my work partner and the closest thing I have to a friend these days. Will, you sound weird. Everything okay? Frank, can I ask you something? Do you think I'm pathetic? What? Where's this coming from? Just answer me, honestly. There's a pause. Will, you're one of the most decent guys I know. Maybe too decent. Why? What do you mean too decent? Look, man, I love Tara, but sometimes I wonder if you're sacrificing too much. You never go out anymore. You turn down that supervisor job. You're always rushing home to take care of her, but she seems... I don't know. She seems fine when I see her around town. You've seen her around town? Yeah, at Murphy's bar a few times. She was with some friends, seemed pretty mobile. I figured her therapy was going really well. Murphy's bar has stairs, no wheelchair access. But I don't tell Frank that. Thanks for being honest, Frank. Will, what's going on? I'll see you tomorrow. I hang up and walk back to the kitchen. On the counter is the medication schedule I maintain for Tara. Pain pills, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatory drugs. I'm the one who picks up her prescriptions, sorts them into daily containers, reminds her when to take them. Except according to her text, she's been selling half of them to buy clothes and gifts for Rick. I'm not an angry man by nature. I fix things for a living. Electrical problems, broken circuits, faulty connections. I approach problems methodically, systematically. And right now, I'm looking at the biggest problem I've ever faced. My wife doesn't love me. She's been using me, lying to me, and laughing about it behind my back. She's planning to leave me, but not until she figures out how to handle me first. Probably wants to make sure she gets the house, the car, and alimony. But here's the thing about being an electrician. You learn that every system has weaknesses. Every circuit has a breaking point. And every problem has a solution if you're willing to get your hands dirty. I grab Tara's phone, she left it on the counter when she rushed out, and start typing a text to Rick. Change of plans. Let's meet Friday night at your place. I'm done pretending with the cripple. Time to end this charade. T. I hit send and put the phone back exactly where she left it. Then I sit down at my kitchen table and start making a list. Not a revenge list. I'm not that kind of man. A repair list. Because my life is broken, and it's time to fix it. The first item on the list, find out exactly who knows about this. The second, document everything. The third, let them destroy themselves. I've always been good at my job because I'm patient and thorough. I don't rush into anything, and I always have a backup plan. Tara and Rick are about to learn that the devoted, pathetic husband they've been laughing at is actually pretty good at solving problems, and their problem is about to become very, very complicated. The next morning, I'm installing new security cameras around the house. Not the obvious kind, the tiny wireless ones that look like smoke detectors or electrical outlets, the kind that record everything and upload it directly to the cloud. Tara wheels into the living room while I'm on the ladder. What are you doing, honey? Updating the smoke detectors. The old ones were expired. She nods absently, scrolling through her phone, probably texting Rick about their Friday night plans, the ones I set up for them. Will, I might be late tonight. Gina wants to go out after therapy. Gina Martinez, her best friend and enabler. According to the group chat I've been monitoring, Gina is the one who introduced Tara to Rick in the first place. She's also been covering for their affair, providing alibis and encouraging Tara to live her life. That's great, honey. You deserve a night out with the girls. What she doesn't know is that I've already confirmed Gina's working a double shift at the hospital tonight. The lie comes so easily to her now. After Tara leaves, I drive to Murphy's bar. It's 10 a.m., but I need to talk to April, the bartender who's been helping coordinate my wife's secret life. The morning shift bartender is a guy named Dave who I went to high school with. Will Bright. Haven't seen you in forever, man. How's Tara doing? She's doing great, actually. Really great. Hey, Dave. I wanted to ask you about something. Tara mentioned she might want to have a party here for her birthday next month. Is April the person to talk to about booking events? April? Yeah, she handles that stuff, but she only works nights. She's tight with your wife, actually. They're in here all the time. All the time? Yeah. Tara, April, and that other girl, the nurse. And sometimes that big guy with the gym. What's his name? Rick? They're like a regular crew. Usually sit at that corner booth over there. He points to a booth that requires walking up 3 steps from the main floor. Tara walks up those steps? Dave looks confused. Well, yeah. I mean, she's got the wheelchair and all, but she gets around pretty good when she needs to. Why? Just curious. Thanks. Dave. I drive to my job site, but I can't concentrate. Frank notices immediately. Okay, what's eating you? You've been weird for 2 days. I'm rewiring a panel box in the basement of an office building. The repetitive work usually calms me, but today my hands won't stop shaking. Frank, if you found out someone was lying to you about something major, what would you do? Depends. How major? Life-changing major. Frank puts down his wire strippers and looks at me seriously. Will, are we talking about Tara? I don't answer, but my face must give it away. Shit, man, what did you find out? I tell him everything. The texts, the group chat, the money, the lies about her physical capabilities. Frank listens without interrupting, his expression getting darker with each detail. That's really messed up, Will. What are you going to do? I'm going to let them hang themselves. What does that mean? I show him the fake text I sent to Rick. Friday night, Rick is expecting Tara to show up at his apartment, ready to leave me. But Tara doesn't know about this text. She's going to show up for what she thinks is just another hookup, and he's going to think she's ready to run away with him. That's actually pretty smart. But what happens after they figure out the miscommunication?
By then, I'll have everything I need. That evening, I followed Tara. She takes her car, the one I modified for her at considerable expense, and drives to Rick's gym.
But she doesn't park in the handicap space out front. She parks in the back alley and walks in through the rear entrance. Walks. I sit in my truck and watch through the windows as she moves around inside the gym. No wheelchair, no assistance, no problem. She's been lying about the extent of her recovery for months, maybe longer. My phone buzzes with a text from her. Therapy running late. Don't wait up. Love you. It's 7 p.m. The gym closed at 6. I drive home and spend the evening going through our financial records. Joint checking account, joint savings, joint credit cards. Everything is in both our names, which means I have access to everything, including the account where her disability payments are deposited, payments she's been receiving fraudulently. I also check our insurance records, the medical equipment, the car modifications, the physical therapy, all covered by my employer's insurance plan. Thousands of dollars in claims for a woman who's been walking around town and having sex on gym equipment. This isn't just adultery. It's fraud. Multiple kinds of fraud. But I'm not calling the police. Not yet. Because I have a better idea. I create a new email account and start documenting everything. Screenshots of the text messages, photos of the hidden money and key, records of her fraudulent disability claims, insurance fraud, and medical equipment she doesn't need. Then, I do something that would have horrified me a week ago. I install spyware on her phone. The kind that records calls, copies texts, and tracks locations. It's technically illegal, but so is insurance fraud. Around midnight, Tara comes home. She's glowing, her hair is messed up, and she smells like Rick's cologne. How was girls' night? I ask. Oh, you know how it is. Gina needed to vent about her ex-boyfriend. We just sat around and talked. That's nice. I'm glad you have good friends. She wheels over and kisses my cheek. You're the best husband in the world, Will. I'm so lucky to have you. The performance is so convincing that for a moment, I almost believe her myself. Wednesday and Thursday pass in a blur of preparation. I install more cameras, document more lies, and watch my wife continue her double life. The spyware on her phone gives me real-time access to her conversations, and they're getting more explicit and more cruel. 2 more days, and we can stop pretending, Rick texts her. I can't wait. I'm so tired of playing the helpless wife. Will actually asked if I needed help cutting my food last night. I wanted to laugh in his face. What are you going to tell him? Gina thinks I should say I'm visiting my sister in Phoenix, then just never come back. Let him figure it out. What about the house? My name's on everything. I'll get a lawyer later and take him for everything he's worth. He's so pathetic he probably won't even fight it. Thursday night, I can't sleep. Tomorrow, everything changes. I've never been a vengeful person, but I've also never been betrayed like this. The woman I've devoted my life to caring for has been laughing at me, stealing from me, and planning to destroy me financially. But she made one crucial mistake. She underestimated me. I'm not the pathetic, devoted fool they think I am. I'm an electrician, which means I'm good at solving complex problems, working with my hands, and paying attention to details. I'm also a veteran, 2 tours in Iraq before I met Tara, which means I know how to plan operations and stay calm under pressure. And tomorrow night, Tara and Rick are going to learn that the man they've been deceiving is much more dangerous than they ever imagined. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. and finally fall asleep, dreaming about electrical fires and short circuits. Friday morning arrives gray and cold, matching my mood perfectly. Tara is unusually cheerful at breakfast, humming while I make her eggs and toast. She has no idea that in 12 hours her carefully constructed world is going to collapse. I think I'll stay in tonight, I tell her casually. Maybe catch up on some reading. She pauses, fork halfway to her mouth. Actually, honey, I was thinking of going out with the girls again. It's been so nice getting back to a social life. That sounds great. You deserve it. What she doesn't know is that I've already confirmed April is working tonight, and Gina has plans with her actual boyfriend. Tara's running out of alibis, but it doesn't matter anymore. After she leaves for her fake therapy session, I put the final pieces of my plan into motion. First, I call Frank. I need a favor. Can you meet me at Murphy's Bar around 9 tonight? Sure, but why? I'm going to need a witness for what happens next. Will, you're scaring me a little. You're not going to do anything crazy, are you? Define crazy. Anything that gets you arrested. No arrests, I promise. Next, I drive to Rick's gym. It's closed, but I know he's inside. The spyware shows Tara's phone is there, which means they're together. I park across the street and wait. At 3 p.m., Tara's car pulls out of the back alley. She's driving, not using the hand controls, just driving normally like any other person. I follow her home and watch her park in our driveway, then transfer to her wheelchair before coming inside. The performance is so practiced, so routine, that I almost admire the dedication it takes. How was therapy, honey? Good. Rick says I'm making real progress. He thinks I might be able to walk short distances soon. That's wonderful news. She wheels over and takes my hand. Will, I know this has been hard on you, taking care of me, sacrificing so much, but I want you to know how grateful I am. You're my hero. Looking into her eyes, I see no guilt, no shame, no regret. Just calculation. She's already planning how to spin her, quote, recovery to make her eventual departure seem natural. I love you, Tara. I always will. I love you too. The lie comes so easily that I wonder if she even remembers what the truth feels like anymore. At 6 p.m., she starts getting ready for her girls' night. She spends an hour on her makeup and hair, puts on the black dress I bought her for our anniversary, and sprays on the expensive perfume that was my Christmas gift to her. Don't wait up, she says, kissing me goodbye. We might make a late night of it. Have fun. Be safe. I watch her drive away, then immediately get to work. I have 3 hours to set up the most important electrical job of my career. The first stop is Rick's apartment building. I've had a spare key for 2 days, courtesy of Tara's secret stash. The building is old, with outdated wiring and minimal security. I let myself into his apartment and look around. It's exactly what I expected. Bachelor pad furniture, gym equipment in the living room, and photos of Rick with various women, including several recent ones of him and Tara together. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. I don't touch anything, don't move anything. I just install 3 tiny cameras in strategic locations and leave. But not before I notice the bottle of champagne on his kitchen counter and the overnight bag by the door. He's definitely expecting tonight to be special. Back home, I shower and put on my best clothes. If this is going to be a performance, I want to look the part. At 8:30, I drive to Murphy's bar. Frank is already there, nursing a beer and looking nervous. Okay, I'm here. Now tell me what this is about. I order a whiskey, something I never drink, and show Frank my phone. The spyware app shows Tara's location, Rick's apartment building. She's supposed to be here with her friends, right? Frank looks at the screen, then at me. Will, what exactly are you planning? I'm planning to give my wife and her boyfriend exactly what they want. Each other. At 9 p.m., I send a text to the group chat that includes Tara, Gina, and April. But I don't send it from my phone. I send it from a burner phone I bought yesterday, using a spoofed number that looks like it came from the hospital where Gina works. Emergency at St. Mary's. All nurses report immediately. Major accident on I-77. Within minutes, Gina is calling Tara. I can hear the conversation through the spyware app. Tara, I have to go to the hospital. There's been a huge accident. Are you okay to get home? Of course. Don't worry about me. Go save lives. Perfect. Now Tara has to either come home early or admit she was never with Gina in the first place. At 9:15, I get a text from Tara. Girls' night ending early. Gina got called into work. Heading home soon. But the GPS shows she's still at Rick's apartment. Take your time, honey. I'm just reading. Frank is watching all of this with growing amazement. You're like a criminal mastermind. I'm an electrician. We're good at complex wiring. At 10 p.m., I make my move. I drive to Rick's apartment building and park right out front, in clear view of his windows. Then I call Tara's phone. She answers on the 4th ring, slightly breathless. Hey, honey, just got home. That's funny, because I'm looking at your car right now, and it's not in our driveway. Silence. Tara? You there? What do you mean? I mean, I'm sitting outside Rick Donnelly's apartment building, looking at your car. The same car I modified so my disabled wife could drive it. Except, you're not disabled, are you? More silence. Then quietly, Will, I can explain. I'm sure you can. Why don't you come down here and explain it to me in person? Bring Rit. I'd love to hear his explanation, too. I hang up and wait. Through the apartment windows, I can see movement, shadows rushing around. The cameras I planted earlier are recording everything, uploading it to the cloud in real time. 5 minutes later, Rick appears at his front door. He's shirtless, wearing jeans, trying to look intimidating, but I can see the fear in his eyes from across the street. I get out of my truck and walk toward him. I'm not a big man, but I'm wiry and strong from years of physical work. More importantly, I'm completely calm while he's obviously panicking. Will, man, this isn't what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like you're sleeping with my wife while I spend my days taking care of her and my nights working overtime to pay for medical equipment she doesn't need. Tara appears behind him, fully dressed now, but her hair is still messed up and her lipstick is smeared. She's not in her wheelchair. She walked down 2 flights of stairs to get here. Will, please, let me explain. Oh, I think you've explained plenty. 3 years of explanations, actually. 3 years of me believing you were helpless while you were perfectly capable of walking upstairs, driving without hand controls, and apparently having quite an active sex life. People are starting to notice the commotion. Neighbors are coming out on their balconies. Windows are opening. This is exactly what I wanted. How long have you been able to walk, Tara? She looks around nervously, aware of the growing audience. Will, not here. Let's go home and talk privately. No, I think here is perfect. All these people should know what kind of woman they've been feeling sorry for. How long? 6 months, she whispers. Loud. I don't think everyone heard you. 6 months, she shouts, tears starting to flow. I've been able to walk for 6 months. And how long have you been sleeping with Rick? She looks at Rick, who's backing toward his door, but I'm not letting him escape that easily. Rick, don't be shy. Tell everyone how long you've been screwing my wife, while I worked 2 jobs to pay for her medical care. Will, come on, man. This got out of hand. We never meant for it to happen. How long? 8 months, he mumbles. 8 months. So you started sleeping with my wife while she was still pretending to be disabled. That's a special kind of low, Rick. By now, there's a crowd of about 20 people watching from balconies and sidewalks. Someone is recording with their phone. This is going to be all over social media within an hour. Tara's crying harder now, but I'm not done. Tell them about the money, Tara. Tell them about the disability payments you've been collecting fraudulently. Tell them about the insurance claims for medical equipment you don't need. Will, please stop. Tell them about the group chat where you and your friends laugh about what a pathetic fool I am. Tell them how you call me Saint Will while you're planning to take everything I own and disappear. She's sobbing now, mascara running down her face. Rick is trying to get back inside, but I grab his arm. Where are you going, Rick? Don't you want to take responsibility for destroying my marriage? Don't you want to explain to all these people how you convinced a vulnerable woman to commit fraud so she could spend more time with you?
Let go of me, Will.
Or what? You'll beat up a man whose only crime was loving his wife too much? In front of all these witnesses? Rick looks around at the crowd, realizes he's trapped. If he hits me, he's the bad guy who beats up devoted husbands. If he doesn't, he looks weak in front of everyone. He chooses weak. This is between you and Tara, man. I'm out of it. He pulls away and disappears into his building, leaving Tara standing alone on the sidewalk, crying and humiliated in front of a crowd of strangers. Will, she whispers, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Are you sorry you did it? Or sorry you got caught? She doesn't answer, which is an answer itself. Here's what's going to happen, Tara. You're going to go home. To your mother's house, not our house, and you're going to think very carefully about your next move, because I have evidence of insurance fraud, disability fraud, and adultery. I have recordings of you admitting you've been lying about your medical condition. I have photos of the money you've been hiding and the key to your boyfriend's apartment. The crowd is silent, hanging on every word. If you try to take anything that belongs to me, if you try to claim alimony, if you even think about playing the victim in this situation, I will turn all of that evidence over to the insurance company, the Social Security Administration, and the district attorney's office. Do you understand me? She nods, still crying. Good, now get out of my sight. She starts to walk toward her car, then stops and turns back. Will, I did love you. Once. Once isn't enough, Tara. Once doesn't cover 3 years of lies. I watch her drive away, then turn to address the crowd that's still watching. Show's over, folks. Thanks for your attention. As I walk back to my truck, several people approach me. An older woman touches my arm. Honey, I'm so sorry. What a terrible thing to do to someone. A man about my age shakes my head. You handled that better than I would have. Good for you. I drive home alone, but for the first time in months, I don't feel lonely. I feel free. The video goes viral overnight. I wake up Saturday morning to 17 missed calls, 43 text messages, and a Facebook notification that I've been tagged in a video that's been shared over 2,000 times. The caption reads, Devoted husband confronts cheating wife and her boyfriend. Shocking. Frank is the first person I call back. Holy shit, Will, you're famous. This video is everywhere. How bad is it? Bad for them, good for you. You come across as the wronged husband who kept his cool while exposing the truth. Tara and Rick look like garbage. I make coffee and watch the video on my laptop. The person who recorded it got everything. Tara admitting she's been lying about her disability, Rick running away like a coward, the crowd's reaction to the revelations about fraud. The comments are overwhelmingly supportive of me. This man is a saint. His wife is trash. I can't believe she was faking being disabled. What kind of monster does that? The boyfriend is a coward. Real men don't run away when confronted. This guy deserves better. I hope he takes her for everything. My phone rings. It's my lawyer, Jim Morrison, who I called yesterday after leaving Rick's apartment building. Will, I've been watching the news. We need to talk. News? Channel 8 picked up the story. They're calling it Disability Fraud Exposed by Devoted Husband. This is bigger than just a divorce now. I drive to Jim's office, where he shows me the local news coverage. The reporter interviewed several people from the crowd last night, all of whom painted me as a sympathetic figure and Tara as a manipulative fraud. The good news is you have all the leverage in the divorce proceedings. The bad news is this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. Worse? How? Tara's going to be investigated by multiple agencies now. Insurance fraud, disability fraud, possibly tax evasion, if she didn't report the money she made selling prescription drugs. She's looking at serious legal consequences. And Rick? Harder to prove he committed any crimes, but his business is probably finished. Who's going to trust a physical therapist who helps people commit disability fraud? That afternoon, I drive past Rick's gym. There are protesters outside, people from the disability community who are outraged by Tara's deception. The windows are covered with graffiti. Fraud, liar, fake. Rick's car isn't in the parking lot. According to social media, he's been getting death threats and has gone into hiding. My phone rings constantly. Reporters wanting interviews, friends offering support, strangers calling me a hero. I don't answer any of them. This isn't about being famous or getting sympathy. This is about justice. Sunday morning, Tara calls. Will, we need to talk. Through lawyers. Please, just give me 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I agree to meet her at a coffee shop downtown. She arrives looking terrible. No makeup, hair unwashed, wearing clothes that look like she slept in them. I've been staying at my mother's, she says. The reporters found me there. They won't leave us alone. That's what happens when you become famous for disability fraud. Will, I know you hate me right now, but I need you to understand something. I never meant for it to go this far. Which part? The lying about being disabled, the stealing from insurance companies, the adultery, or the planning to take everything I own? She flinches. All of it. It started small. I could walk a little bit, but I was scared to tell you because I thought you'd expect too much too fast. Then Rick started paying attention to me, and it felt good to be wanted by someone who saw me as a whole person, not a patient. So you decided to keep lying and start cheating. I got in too deep. Every lie led to another lie. Every secret led to bigger secrets. I wanted to tell you the truth, but I didn't know how. You could have started with, Will, I've been lying to you about everything. She starts crying. I know you'll never forgive me, but I'm begging you not to press charges. The district attorney called yesterday. They're considering filing criminal charges for the insurance fraud. That's not my decision to make. You committed crimes, Tara. Real crimes that hurt real people. Please, Will, I'll give you everything. The house, the car, everything. I'll disappear from your life forever. Just please don't help them prosecute me. I look at this woman I once loved more than my own life. 3 days ago, I would have done anything to protect her. Now I feel nothing but disgust. You still don't get it, do you? This isn't about revenge anymore. This is about consequences. You didn't just lie to me. You stole money from insurance companies that could have gone to people who actually need help. You took disability payments while people who are really disabled wait months for approval. You made a mockery of everyone who struggles with real disabilities. I know, I was selfish and stupid. You were criminal. There's a difference. I stand to leave, but she grabs my arm. Will, what happened to you? You used to be kind. You used to be forgiving. I used to be naive. You cured me of that. Monday morning, I go back to work for the first time since Friday night. The job site is buzzing with conversation that stops when I arrive. Frank walks over immediately. You okay, man? I'm fine. Let's get to work.
But work is impossible. Every few minutes, someone approaches me with questions, comments, or support.
By lunchtime, I've been interviewed by 2 reporters, received job offers from 3 different electrical companies, and been asked out by the receptionist at the building we're wiring. Will, Frank says during our lunch break, you know you can't go back to normal life after this, right? You're like a celebrity now. I don't want to be a celebrity. I just want to fix electrical problems and go home to a quiet house. That's not going to happen, at least not for a while. He's right. When I get home, there are news vans parked on my street. Reporters approach me as I get out of my truck. Mr. Bright, how are you handling the betrayal? Mr. Bright, do you think your wife should go to prison? Mr. Bright, what's next for you? I push through them without commenting and lock myself in my house. Through the window, I can see neighbors talking to reporters, probably sharing their opinions about the situation. My phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. Will Bright, This is Detective Sarah Martinez with the Fraud Investigation Unit. We need to schedule a time for you to give a formal statement. About what? Your wife's disability and insurance fraud. The district attorney is definitely filing charges. Your cooperation would be helpful. I scheduled the interview for Wednesday, then sit in my living room and really think about what's happening. 3 days ago, I was an anonymous electrician married to a woman I thought was disabled. Now I'm the face of a disability fraud scandal that's making national news. Tara's life is destroyed. Rick's business is finished. And I'm being treated like a hero for exposing them. But I don't feel like a hero. I feel like a man who's been forced to burn down his own life in order to save what was left of his dignity. Tuesday morning brings more news. Rick's gym is officially closed. The state is investigating his physical therapy license. 3 other patients have come forward claiming he encouraged them to exaggerate their disabilities for insurance purposes. Tara has been arrested. I watch the news coverage of her being led away in handcuffs, and I feel nothing. No satisfaction, no sadness, no regret. Just emptiness. My phone rings. It's Tara's mother. Will, how could you do this to her? She made mistakes, but she doesn't deserve to go to prison. Mrs. Patterson, your daughter committed multiple felonies while I worked overtime to support her fake medical needs. I didn't do this to her. She did it to herself. She loves you, Will. She always has. No, ma'am. She loved what I provided for her. There's a difference. That evening, I'm cleaning out Tara's things when I find a journal hidden in her closet. Against my better judgment, I read it. The entries go back 2 years. They detail her growing resentment toward me, her attraction to Rick, her decision to hide her recovery, and her plans to leave me. But they also reveal something I didn't expect. Genuine guilt. I hate myself for what I'm doing to Will, she wrote 6 months ago. He's a good man who deserves better. But I'm in too deep now. If I tell him the truth, I'll lose everything. I'm trapped by my own lies. Rick says Will is pathetic, but I know better. Will is strong and decent and loyal, the kind of man I should want to be married to. But I don't want decent anymore. I want exciting. I want passion. I want to feel alive. I'm going to hell for this. I know I am. But I can't stop. I close the journal and put it in the box with her other belongings. Tomorrow, I'll drop everything off at her mother's house. Then I'll change the locks, file the divorce papers, and start the process of rebuilding my life. But tonight, I'm going to sit in my quiet house and mourn the death of the man I used to be. The trusting, devoted, naive man who believed that love and loyalty were enough to hold a marriage together. That man died Friday night in the street outside Rick's apartment building. And I'm still not sure who I'm becoming in his place. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in my lawyer's office when Jim drops the bombshell. Will, we have a problem. The money is gone. What money? All of it. The joint accounts, the savings, even the disability payments that were deposited last month. Everything's been withdrawn. I stare at him, not comprehending. How is that possible? Tara's in jail. She made bail yesterday. But that's not who took the money. He slides a bank statement across his desk. Every account has been emptied, but the withdrawals weren't made by Tara. They were made by someone with power of attorney, Gina Martinez. Apparently, Tara signed power of attorney over to her friend 6 months ago, supposedly for medical emergencies. Gina cleaned out everything yesterday morning, then disappeared. The room spins around me. How much? $47,000? Your life savings, the disability payments, everything. I lean back in my chair, trying to process this. While I was focused on destroying Tara and Rick, her best friend was planning to rob us both. There's more, Jim continues. Rick's business assets are gone too. Gina had access to his accounts as well. She handled his bookkeeping. She took everything and vanished. Where is she? Unknown. But there's something else you need to know. I don't think this was opportunistic. I think this was planned from the beginning. He shows me a series of documents. Financial records, property transfers, business filing. All of them show Gina's involvement in Tara and Rick's affairs going back over a year. She wasn't just covering for their affair, Will. She was orchestrating it. Think about it. Gina introduced Tara to Rick. Gina provided alibis. Gina encouraged Tara to hide her recovery and keep collecting disability. Gina had access to everyone's money.
The pieces fall into place with sickening clarity. She was setting them up.
That's what I think.
She let them believe they were using you while she was actually using all of you. The affair, the fraud, the lies, it was all designed to distract everyone while she positioned herself to take everything. I drive home in a daze, dying soon. Everything I thought I knew about the situation was wrong. Tara and Rick weren't the masterminds of some elaborate deception. They were victims of one, just like me. My phone rings. It's Frank. Will, you need to get down to the community center right now. Why? Just trust me. Come alone. I drive to the community center where I find a crowd gathered in the parking lot. At the center of the crowd are Tara and Rick, both looking as confused and desperate as I feel. Tara sees me first. Will, did you know about Gina? I just found out an hour ago. Rick approaches hesitantly. Will, I know you have no reason to help us, but we need to work together on this. She took everything from all of us. How did she get access to your accounts? She did my books for the gym. I trusted her. He looks ashamed. I trusted her with everything. Tara is crying again, but these tears look different, more genuine. Will, I know I have no right to ask you for anything, but please help us find her. She has our entire lives in her bank account. Before I can answer, someone in the crowd shouts, "There she is!" A silver Mercedes pulls into the parking lot. Gina gets out, dressed in expensive clothes I've never seen before, looking confident and completely unrepentant. The crowd surrounds her immediately. She seems surprised by the reception, but not intimidated. Well, well, she says, looking at Tara, Rick, and me. The three stooges, finally working together. Where's our money, Gina? Tara demands. Your money? That's interesting. Let's talk about whose money it really was. She pulls out her phone and starts reading from it. Tara, you stole $47,000 in fraudulent disability payments. Rick, you helped her commit insurance fraud and probably slept with half your clients. And Will, she looks at me with mock sympathy. Poor, stupid Will. You enabled all of it. I didn't enable anything. I was lied to. Were you? Really? You never suspected anything? Never wondered how your disabled wife could manage so many activities? Never questioned why her recovery was so slow? The crowd is silent, listening to every word. You knew, she continues. Maybe not consciously, but you knew. You just didn't want to deal with the truth because it was easier to play the martyr. That's not true. Isn't it? You loved being the devoted husband. You loved the sympathy, the admiration, the way people praised you for your sacrifice. You didn't want Tara to get better because then you'd just be ordinary. Her words hit like physical blows because there's truth in them. Had I suspected? Had I chosen not to see the signs because I enjoyed being seen as noble? But here's the beautiful part, Gina continues. While you three were playing your little drama, I was planning my retirement. Every fraudulent payment, every insurance claim, every lie you told, I documented all of it. And when the time was right, I took what I'd earned. You didn't earn anything, Rick shouts. You stole from us. I provided a service. I enabled your affair, covered your lies, and helped you commit crimes. That's worth compensation. Tara steps forward, and I'm shocked to see her walking without any assistance. The crowd notices too. Gina, we trusted you. You were my best friend. I was your accomplice. There's a difference. Where's the money? Safe. Offshore. Completely legal, by the way. I didn't steal anything. I withdrew money from accounts I had legal access to. Money that was obtained through fraud, but that's your problem, not mine.
The crowd is getting angry. Someone shouts, "Call the police!"
But Gina just smiles. Go ahead, call them. I haven't broken any laws. I had power of attorney and authorized access to all the accounts. The fact that the money in those accounts was obtained illegally is something you'll have to explain to them. She's right, and we all know it. She played this perfectly. There is one thing I'll offer you, she says, enjoying our desperation. A trade. What kind of trade, I ask. I'll return half the money, $25,000, if one of you takes full responsibility for everything, admits to planning the whole fraud scheme, testifies that the other two were innocent victims, and goes to prison alone. She looks at each of us in turn. Think about it. One person serves 5 to 10 years, the other 2 get their lives back and enough money to start over. It's a generous offer. The crowd waits for our response. Tara and Rick look at each other, then at me. I can see them calculating, wondering if they can convince me to take the fall. But I'm done being the victim in other people's schemes. No deal, Gina. Will, Tara says quickly, maybe we should consider... No. I turn to address the crowd. You all want to know what really happened here? I'll tell you. I pull out my phone and open the audio recording app I've been running since I arrived. Gina just confessed to orchestrating a conspiracy to commit fraud, manipulating 3 people into criminal activity and extorting us for money. She admitted to planning this for over a year. She documented our crimes because she was planning to use them against us. Gina's confidence wavers for the first time. That recording won't hold up in court. Maybe not, but it'll hold up in the court of public opinion. I turn to the crowd, many of whom are recording with their phones. This woman manipulated my wife into hiding her recovery, encouraged her to commit fraud, introduced her to her lover, and then robbed all of us when we were distracted by the drama she created. She's not a victim. She's the architect of this entire mess. The crowd's mood shifts. They're no longer looking at Gina with curiosity. They're looking at her with anger. And you know what the really sick part is? She's probably right about me. Maybe I did suspect something. Maybe I did enjoy being the devoted husband. Maybe I didn't want to see the truth. I look at Tara and Rick, and maybe you two were just weak people who made bad choices, not criminal masterminds. I turn back to Gina. But you're something else entirely. You're a predator who fed on our weaknesses and destroyed our lives for profit. The crowd is murmuring agreement. Someone starts recording Gina with their phone. She realizes the situation is turning against her. This is ridiculous. You can't blame me for your problems. I'm not blaming you for our problems. I'm blaming you for exploiting them. Gina looks around at the hostile crowd and starts backing toward her car. But several people move to block her path. Where do you think you're going? Someone shouts. You can't keep me here. I haven't done anything wrong. But the crowd disagrees. They're angry and they want justice. Not legal justice, street justice. What happens next unfolds like a perfectly choreographed dance. Someone pulls out their phone and starts live streaming. Within minutes, hundreds of people are watching online as the crowd confronts Gina. Give them their money back. Admit what you did. You're a thief. Gina tries to get to her car, but the crowd won't let her pass. She's trapped, surrounded by angry people who see her as the villain in a story they've been following for weeks. Okay, she shouts. I'll return the money. All of it, someone yells. All of it. Just let me get to my car. The crowd parts slightly, and Gina rushes to her Mercedes. But as she's getting in, Tara approaches the driver's side window. Gina, why? Why did you do this to us? Gina looks at her through the glass, and for a moment her mask slips. I see something in her face that might be genuine emotion. Because I could, she says simply. Because you made it easy. Because you were also focused on your own drama that you never saw me coming. She starts the car and drives away, leaving the 3 of us standing in the parking lot surrounded by a crowd of strangers who have just witnessed the final act of our public humiliation. But something has changed. The crowd isn't looking at us with judgment anymore. They're looking at us with sympathy. We're not the villains in this story. We're fellow victims of a woman who manipulated all of us. Tara touches my arm. Will, I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but you're right, you don't. She nods, tears flowing freely. I know, but I want you to know that everything I said about loving you once was true. I did love you. I loved you more than I've ever loved anyone. But it wasn't enough. No, it wasn't enough. Rick approaches hesitantly. Will, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I betrayed your friendship. I'm sorry I helped destroy your marriage. I'm sorry I was too much of a coward to face you like a man. I look at both of them, my cheating wife and my former best friend, and I realize something surprising. I don't hate them anymore. I pity them. You know what the funny thing is, I say? Gina was right. I probably did know on some level. And I probably did enjoy being the martyr. But you know what else? That doesn't excuse what you did to me. The crowd is starting to disperse, but many people approach me to offer support, share their own stories of betrayal, or simply shake my hand. A reporter from Channel 8 appears with a camera crew. Mr. Bright, how do you feel about this latest development? I think about the question seriously before answering. I feel like I've learned something important about human nature. We're all capable of being victims, and we're all capable of being villains. Sometimes we're both at the same time. What's next for you? I look around at the parking lot where my marriage officially ended, where my former best friend apologized, and where the real villain in our story was finally exposed. I'm going to go home, change the locks one more time, and start figuring out who I am when I'm not defined by other people's betrayals. The reporter nods and moves on to interview Tara and Rick. I walk to my truck, but before I get in, Frank appears beside me. Hell of a thing, Will. Yeah, hell of a thing. You really think she'll give the money back? Probably not, but that's okay. I'm done chasing money that was never really mine anyway. So what now? I look back at the community center, where Tara is giving her own interview, talking about being manipulated and used. Rick is standing alone by his car, looking lost and defeated. Now I go home and figure out how to be Will Bright again. Not Saint Will, not the devoted husband, not the victim of a fraud scheme, just Will. I drive home through the streets of my small city, past the gym that's now closed, past Murphy's bar where this all started to unravel, past the houses of neighbors who have watched my private life become public entertainment. But